Have you ever found yourself wondering why your goals feel just out of reach, or why the road to achieving them feels so difficult? Does the fear of failure or uncertainty hold you back from aiming higher, from dreaming bigger? It's in these moments of self-doubt that we must remind ourselves that setting our goals high isn't just a lofty ambition, it's a declaration of our faith in God's purpose for us and His desire for us to grow into the people we were always meant to be. By setting your sights beyond mediocrity, you're telling the world, and more importantly yourself, that you believe in the potential God has placed inside of you. You're choosing not to settle but to push yourself beyond the limits of comfort into a space of growth, where true transformation occurs. But the question remains, why do we often hesitate to reach for more? Is it the fear of being disappointed if we don't succeed, or the voice inside that says, "Who are you to dream of something extraordinary?" C.S. Lewis once pointed out, failures, repeated failures, are finger posts on the road to achievement. He understood that the fear of failure can be paralyzing, but it's only by embracing that fear and pushing through it that we come to understand our true strength. Ask yourself what would happen if you allowed yourself to fail forward. What if the very thing you fear could be the stepping stone towards something greater? Setting high goals is about more than just dreaming, it's about believing in the power of God working through you. The discomfort you feel as you stretch yourself is part of the process of growth, and each challenge you face builds the resilience you need to become the best version of yourself. Just as Lewis said, the task of the modern educator is not to cut down jungles, but to irrigate deserts. It's not about making the path easy, but about nourishing the potential within, nurturing the seeds of greatness that God has already planted in you. When you set your goals high, you are stepping into the unknown, but you are also trusting that God is guiding every step. The journey to achieving those goals will not always be smooth. There will be setbacks and moments where you question why you even started. But remember, success is not about never falling, it's about getting back up every time you do. It's about recognizing that God's plan for you is not limited by the obstacles you face, but shaped by how you respond to them. Every failure, every challenge, is an opportunity to grow closer to the person God created you to be. Now, before you move on, I want you to sit with this thought. What would your life look like if you stopped settling for good enough and truly believed that you were made for more? What if you made the decision today to set your goals higher than you ever have before? Stay with us as we continue exploring what it means to push beyond mediocrity and live a life full of purpose, driven by God's vision for us. Can I get an amen from you? You are never too old to set another goal or to dream a new dream. C.S. Lewis. Have you ever found yourself paralyzed by the enormity of your dreams, wondering if you have what it takes to truly pursue them? The fear of failure can be overwhelming. What if you invest everything into your vision, only to fall short? What if the challenges you face feel too big, and the obstacles seem insurmountable? These questions linger in the hearts of so many, casting shadows over the bold aspirations they once held dear. But it's in those very moments of uncertainty and doubt that courage is most necessary. As Lewis reminds us, the journey towards something greater starts not with the certainty of success, but with the decision to move forward in faith. Setting high goals isn't about simply dreaming big, it's about choosing to act with boldness, even when fear whispers that you're not enough. It's about facing your fears head-on, refusing to let them dictate your future. Just as the Apostle Peter stepped out of the boat and onto the waves, even when logic and fear told him otherwise, so too must we step out in faith toward the goals that seem beyond our grasp. Lewis once wrote, "Courage is not simply one of the virtues, but the form of every virtue at the testing point." In other words, it's easy to dream when the path is clear, but real courage emerges when the road becomes difficult, and you must choose to press on. But how often do you find yourself stuck in the dreaming phase, afraid to take that first step? What fears are holding you back from taking action? Maybe it's the fear of being misunderstood, the fear of judgment, or the fear that you will fail and prove those doubts inside you right. The pain of failure can be daunting, but as Lewis points out, failure is not the end, it is a part of the journey. Failures are finger posts on the road to achievement. They don't define your worth, rather, they guide you closer to your goals, teaching you resilience and refining your character. So how do you move past the fear and confusion that can cloud your vision? The first step is clarity. Take time to reflect on what you really want out of life, not just in the broad sense of wanting happiness or success, but in the deeper, more meaningful sense. What is your purpose? What impact do you feel called to make in this world? In the quiet of your heart, what stirs your passion and your soul? Setting high goals means aligning your desires with your values and with the purpose God has for you. As Lewis suggests, everyone says forgiveness is a lovely idea until they have something to forgive. Similarly, everyone loves the idea of success, but it's the hard work, the daily commitment, and the challenges that test whether we truly believe in what we are striving for.
Once you are clear on your vision, the next step is to break it down into smaller, more tangible actions. This is where many people falter. The fear of taking on too much at once can cause paralysis, but setting high goals doesn't mean tackling everything all at once. As Lewis observed, isn't it funny how day by day nothing changes, but when you look back, everything is different. Growth happens in small, consistent steps. Focus on one thing at a time, give it your full attention, and allow those small victories to build momentum. The road may be long, but every step forward is progress.
You are not meant to settle for mediocrity or shrink in the face of challenges. You are called to rise above, to set goals that stretch you, to pursue dreams that seem impossible because they are grounded in something greater than yourself. With each step you take, with every fear you confront, you inspire others to do the same. People who set their goals high, who refuse to give up despite adversity, are the ones who change the world. They are the ones who, through faith and courage, transform not only their own lives, but the lives of those around them. Hardships often prepare ordinary people for an extraordinary destiny. C.S. Lewis. Have you ever set a goal so high that the road ahead seemed overwhelming, and every step felt like you were trying to climb a mountain? The desire to build something as bold as starting your own business, to break free from financial constraints, or to become independent is admirable, but the enormity of it can often leave you paralyzed by fear and uncertainty. How do you continue when the path seems too long, too difficult, or when doubt whispers, "What if you don't have what it takes?" C.S. Lewis reminds us that hardships are not roadblocks, but rather the refining fires that shape us for something far greater. Imagine your goal is to launch your business and become financially independent. That's an extraordinary vision, but breaking it down is crucial. Instead of focusing on the overwhelming mountain ahead, start small. What's the first step you can take? Maybe it's setting aside enough money to leave your current job and focus fully on this dream. That's not the end goal, but it's a significant milestone. Each step builds upon the last, each achievement stacking together to eventually reach the summit of success you've envisioned. But here's where it gets difficult. There will be moments when the journey seems too slow, when progress feels non-existent, or when setbacks make you question your abilities. The doubt creeps in, telling you that maybe this dream was too big. Maybe you're not cut out for this after all. How often have you faced that voice and felt your resolve waver? These are the moments when faith and persistence become the most crucial. As Lewis once said, courage is not simply one of the virtues, but the form of every virtue at the testing point. It is in these testing moments, when the goal seems unattainable, that you must dig deep, reconnect with your why, and push forward. The beauty of setting high goals is that they force you to grow beyond your current limitations. It's not about achieving perfection or never facing failure. Those things are inevitable. It's about having the courage to keep moving forward despite the failures, to see each mistake not as the end but as a necessary part of the journey. Failures are finger posts on the road to achievement, Lewis writes. So, instead of viewing setbacks as reasons to give up, recognize them as vital lessons that guide you toward your ultimate success. The key is persistence. When you face those moments of doubt, when you wonder if you've bitten off more than you can chew, take a moment to remember why you started this journey in the first place. Reflect on the vision that ignited your passion, the reason you decided to set this high goal for yourself. That reason is your fuel, your compass. It's what will carry you through the tough days when giving up seems easier than pushing forward. Success is rarely about taking giant leaps, it's about consistently taking small steps, even when the path gets rough. Every milestone you achieve, whether it's saving that first bit of capital, launching your first product, or gaining your first customer, brings you closer to your ultimate goal. With each step, you grow, not just in your business, but in your character, resilience, and faith. Remember, the road to success isn't about avoiding failure or hardship, but about how you respond to it. It's about pushing yourself to become the best version of yourself, to embrace risks, learn from mistakes, and keep moving forward no matter what. Don't shine so others can see you. Shine so that through you, others can see him. C.S. Lewis. Have you ever stopped to think about how your actions might be influencing the people around you? When you set ambitious goals and commit to them wholeheartedly, you're not just changing your own life, you're lighting a path for others to follow. You may wonder if what you're doing really makes a difference, or if anyone even notices the struggles and triumphs you face. But let me ask you, what if the challenges you endure are shaping you into the leader someone else needs? C.S. Lewis reminds us that our purpose often extends far beyond our individual success. It's about becoming a reflection of God's glory to those who are watching, learning from our perseverance and faith. When you aim high and relentlessly pursue your goals, you become a living testimony of what's possible when we lean into our God-given potential. You may not realize it, but the courage you demonstrate by refusing to settle, the resilience you show in times of adversity, these qualities inspire others to believe in themselves. Perhaps they've been discouraged by their own fears or by setbacks in their own journey. Perhaps they've lost hope, thinking that greatness is reserved for others, not for them. But through your example, they begin to see that success isn't reserved for the extraordinary, it's available to anyone willing to step out in faith and pursue their God-given calling with everything they have. The beauty of setting high goals and working hard isn't just the personal growth you experience, though that is profound. It's the ripple effect you create, one that touches the lives of people you may never even meet. Your determination becomes contagious, and before you know it, others are stepping out of their comfort zones too, inspired by the way you've carried yourself. As Lewis so powerfully expressed, isn't it funny how day by day nothing changes, but when you look back, everything is different? What seems like small, unnoticed efforts in the moment can, over time, transform not just your life, but the lives of those around you. So, here's the deeper question: could your decision to set higher goals be the turning point for someone else's journey? By believing in yourself, you're offering others the permission to believe in themselves. Your perseverance is a reminder that they, too, can push beyond their limits and achieve something great. In the end, you're not just becoming a role model, you're becoming a vessel through which God can work, guiding others toward their potential. It is in the process of being worshipped that God communicates His presence to men. C.S. Lewis. Have you ever felt lost, stuck in the maze of life's decisions, not knowing which path to take? Maybe you've asked yourself, what am I supposed to do with my life? It's in those uncertain moments when the weight of confusion can feel unbearable. We all crave purpose, yet sometimes the road to discovering that purpose feels elusive. What is it that you're passionate about? What values guide your heart, even when everything around you seems unclear? These are the questions that dig into the very core of who we are, uncovering the legacy we're meant to leave in this world. Lewis reminds us that in the act of worship, of seeking God in our stillness, we begin to see more clearly the steps He has laid out for us. We do not come to God as bad people trying to become good people. We come as rebels to lay down our arms.
If you're feeling unsure of your direction, take a moment to reflect on what drives you. What would your life look like if you allowed yourself to fully embrace those passions, not as fleeting thoughts, but as the cornerstone of your life's mission? Often, the problem isn't a lack of passion, it's the fear of dreaming too big, of stepping into the unknown. But here's the truth: you don't need to have it all figured out today. You just need to start. When God placed those dreams in your heart, He didn't intend for them to remain dormant. He's asking you to move, even when the path isn't fully lit.
What if the impact you're meant to make begins with small, steady steps? Set high goals, yes, but break them into achievable milestones. As Lewis once noted, isn't it funny how day by day nothing changes, but when you look back, everything is different. Progress may feel slow, even insignificant, but with each step forward, you are drawing closer to the person God created you to be. But here's the hard part: what happens when you hit a roadblock? When the setbacks feel overwhelming and your motivation falters, what keeps you going? The key is to stay anchored in your vision. Understand that challenges aren't meant to derail you, but to refine your purpose. Every obstacle you face is a test of perseverance, a reminder to lean into God's strength rather than your own. As Lewis wisely pointed out, hardships often prepare ordinary people for an extraordinary destiny. So, in those moments when you're tempted to give up, remember the vision that brought you to this point. It's not about avoiding difficulties, but about pushing through them with faith. I found that one of the most powerful tools for staying focused is surrounding myself with people who believe in me, even when I'm doubting myself. Do you have someone who reminds you of your worth when the journey feels too long? Whether it's a mentor, a friend, or a loved one, having a support system to encourage you, offer advice, and help you refocus can be the difference between giving up and pushing forward. In the company of those who truly care, we find the courage to rise again. It is not the load that breaks you down, it's the way you carry it. C.S. Lewis. Have you ever been so focused on the destination that you forgot to cherish the steps along the journey? When striving toward your goals, do you feel like you overlook the little victories because you're fixated on the end result? This happens to so many of us. We set ambitious goals, and in the drive to achieve them, we often ignore the progress we've made. Progress that, though small, is the foundation for lasting success. In our rush to get there, we miss out on celebrating the growth happening in the here and now. Why do we feel that small victories aren't worth celebrating? Is it because we feel they don't matter until the big dream comes true? Or is it that we believe acknowledging these steps would mean we're settling for less?
C.S. Lewis once said, "Isn't it funny how day by day nothing changes, but when you look back, everything is different." The truth is that each small success is a building block, a necessary step forward on the road to your ultimate goal. By pausing to appreciate those moments, no matter how small, you remind yourself of how far you've come. Reflecting on these milestones creates the motivation and energy needed to keep moving forward. When you take the time to celebrate even the seemingly insignificant wins, you're not just acknowledging your progress, you're fueling your spirit for the journey ahead.
But the journey is about more than just the destination, isn't it? Achieving your goals isn't simply about reaching a certain point or achieving a specific outcome. It's about the person you become along the way. Have you ever considered that the challenges you face while pursuing your dreams are not just obstacles to overcome, but opportunities for growth? Each hurdle, every setback, shapes you into someone stronger, more capable, and more resilient. Just as Lewis reminds us, hardships often prepare ordinary people for an extraordinary destiny. In the process of chasing your dreams, you develop new skills and gain experiences that stretch your limits. You discover strengths you didn't know you had, and you build resilience that helps you face life's inevitable challenges. It's in this growth that real transformation happens. The ultimate achievement is not just ticking a goal off your list, but becoming a person who is confident, capable, and ready for whatever comes next. So, don't hesitate to dream big. Set your goals high, but remember that the true victory lies in the journey, not just the destination. Surround yourself with people who believe in you, who lift you up when the road gets tough, and who celebrate with you, even in the smallest victories. These moments of growth and celebration are what build the foundation for achieving your dreams. You are never too old to set another goal, or to dream a new dream. C.S. Lewis. Have you ever stopped and wondered why some goals seem so daunting? Why the idea of setting high ambitions can feel so terrifying, as if the risk of failure looms too large? Maybe it's because deep down, we fear that we aren't enough, that reaching too high will only lead to disappointment. Yet, when we avoid these goals, are we not limiting ourselves? C.S. Lewis understood the human condition so well when he wrote, "Failures, repeated failures, are finger posts on the road to achievement." The truth is, growth comes not in avoiding risk, but in embracing it, understanding that each stumble is a stepping stone toward becoming the person God intended us to be. Setting high goals and daring to dream big isn't merely an act of ambition, it's an act of faith. Faith in who God has created you to be, faith in His plans for your life, and faith in the potential that lies within you. But it's natural to ask yourself, what if I fail? What if the journey is too hard, too painful? That's the tension we face, isn't it? The fear that the cost of failure will outweigh the rewards of success. Yet, Lewis once said, "Hardships often prepare ordinary people for an extraordinary destiny. The very challenges that scare you might be the ones shaping you into the person capable of achieving those extraordinary dreams." The journey to your goals will test you, that's certain. But here's the beauty of it: every small victory, every lesson learned, every moment where you choose to persevere through difficulty adds layers of depth and character to who you are becoming. As you walk this path, remember that the process is not just about achieving the goal, it's about who you are becoming in the process. God isn't just concerned with the end result, He is deeply involved in every step, molding you and shaping you to become more like Him. Every setback is not just a barrier, it's an invitation to trust more deeply in His plan for your life. But here's the deeper question: what is stopping you from fully stepping into this journey? Is it fear of failure, or perhaps the pain of past disappointments? Take a moment to reflect on what holds you back, because the very things that seem like obstacles may be the instruments God uses to grow you. The journey of setting high goals and working toward them, with all its ups and downs, isn't about perfection. It's about faith, persistence, and trust that the God who placed these dreams in your heart is faithful to walk with you every step of the way. So, how do you begin? You start by believing that God has called you to more than mediocrity. You start by understanding that the challenges you will face are not a sign that you are on the wrong path, but rather that you are growing in ways you never imagined. Lewis reminds us, the task of the modern educator is not to cut down jungles, but to irrigate deserts. Your path to growth is about nourishing what is already inside you, potential that God has planted, waiting to be cultivated through effort, faith, and determination. As you move forward, never forget why you began this journey. Reflect on the dreams that stirred your heart at the start, and let them guide you when the road feels tough. Surround yourself with people who lift you up, who believe in your potential, even when you might not. Remember, the journey is long, but the reward isn't just the destination, it's the person you become along the way. When you stay true to your values, trust in God's timing, and refuse to give up, you'll discover that the limits you once saw were nothing but stepping stones to something greater. And in the end, when you set your goals high and commit to them with everything you have, you will inspire others to do the same. You will become a living example of what's possible when we believe in ourselves and trust in God's plan. Lewis put it best: there are far, far better things ahead than any we leave behind. So go out there and embrace the journey. Set your goals high, dream bigger than ever before, and take each step with confidence that you're becoming exactly who you were meant to be. Believe in the greatness within you because God placed it there, and He never plants seeds without nurturing them to fruition. Keep pressing forward, knowing that the best is yet to come.
You are never too old to set another goal or to dream a new dream. C.S. Lewis.
Have you ever wondered why your goals sometimes feel too distant or unreachable, or why the journey toward them is filled with obstacles that seem impossible to overcome? Do you sometimes feel that the weight of your dreams is too heavy for you to carry alone? These moments, when doubt creeps in, are often when God is calling us to reflect on the deeper purpose of our journey. Setting high goals is not just about reaching a destination, but about who you become along the way. It's about believing that you were created for more and trusting that your dreams, when aligned with God's purpose, have the power to shape not just your life but the lives of those around you. Have you ever felt paralyzed by the fear of failure? Wondered if your goals are too ambitious, or if you're not capable of achieving them? C.S. Lewis once reminded us that failures, repeated failures, are finger posts on the road to achievement. It's through our failures that we often discover the courage to continue. The truth is, setting high goals isn't about avoiding failure, it's about embracing it as part of the process. Each setback, each challenge teaches us resilience and perseverance. So, ask yourself, what if your failure today is preparing you for the breakthrough you've been praying for tomorrow? When you set your goals high, you are inviting personal transformation. You are telling yourself and the world that you are not content with mediocrity, that you believe in the potential that God has placed within you. But here's the hard truth: growth doesn't happen in comfort. It requires stepping into the unknown, facing your fears head-on, and pushing past the limitations you once thought were impossible to overcome. As Lewis said, courage is not simply one of the virtues, but the form of every virtue. At the testing point, your courage to pursue your highest goals, despite the fear, is the key to unlocking your potential. But the path to achieving your goals is rarely a straight line. There will be detours, roadblocks, and unexpected challenges that test your resolve. You may question why you started, or wonder if you have the strength to continue. But here's the beauty of setting high goals: they give you direction. Even on the days when progress feels slow or non-existent, your vision will remind you why you started. Each small step forward is part of a greater journey, one that is shaping you into the person God intended you to become. Imagine this: each time you stretch beyond your comfort zone, you're growing not just in skill but in character. You're learning patience, persistence, and faith. And as you grow, you inspire others to pursue their own dreams. You become a living testimony to the power of perseverance and faith. Have you ever considered that your journey might be the encouragement someone else needs to keep going? Your willingness to push forward, even when it's hard, could be the very thing that ignites hope in another person's heart. So, how do you set goals that challenge you to grow while also giving you a sense of purpose and fulfillment? The first step is to get clear on what truly matters to you. Take time to reflect on your values, your passions, and the legacy you want to leave behind. What kind of life do you want to live? What kind of person do you want to become? Once you have a clear vision, start setting specific, measurable goals that align with that vision. And don't be afraid to dream big. Remember, as C.S. Lewis said, there are far, far better things ahead than any we leave behind. The future holds more than you can imagine, but it requires you to take that first step in faith. But here's something many people overlook: the journey to achieving your goals is just as important as reaching the destination. It's in the process of striving, learning, and growing that you discover who you truly are. Each step you take, no matter how small, is progress. And progress is something to be celebrated. Don't wait for the final achievement to feel fulfilled. Find joy in the journey itself. Each challenge you face, each lesson you learn, brings you one step closer to becoming the best version of yourself. And as you continue to pursue your goals, remember this: the journey doesn't end once you've achieved one milestone. Success is not a final destination but a continuous process of growth and evolution. When you reach one goal, it's time to set another. It's time to keep pushing, to keep dreaming, and to keep growing. That's the true power of setting high goals. They create a ripple effect that extends far beyond your own life, touching the lives of those around you. Now, take a moment to reflect. What goals have you been holding back on because they seem too big or too daunting? What dreams have you set aside because you were afraid of failing? Today, I challenge you to reconsider those dreams. Set your goals high, knowing that you have within you everything you need to achieve them. Trust in the process and believe that each step you take is moving you closer to the life God has planned for you. Stay with us as we continue this journey of self-discovery and growth. There's so much more ahead, so many more dreams to pursue, goals to achieve, and lives to impact. Together, let's embrace the power of setting high goals, trusting that with God's guidance, we can achieve far more than we ever thought possible. Isn't it funny how day by day nothing changes, but when you look back, everything is different? C.S. Lewis. Have you ever paused to reflect on the small victories you've achieved? The moments of quiet triumph that might have seemed insignificant to others but meant everything to you. Maybe it was as simple as sticking to a new habit or making it through a week that tested every ounce of your patience and strength. How often do you allow yourself to truly feel the weight of these wins, to acknowledge the quiet pride that comes from knowing you didn't give up? These moments, these small milestones, are the fuel that remind you of your resilience and capacity to achieve more than you often realize. But what holds you back from fully embracing these victories? Do you find yourself diminishing your progress because the end goal still seems far away? How often do you push past a win without stopping to celebrate? Because the world teaches us to focus only on the destination. C.S. Lewis once said, "The journey is the reward," and there's a profound truth in that statement. We are often so fixated on the finish line that we overlook the importance of each step along the way. Yet every small win, every step forward, is a part of the greater story of your life. These victories, no matter how small they seem, are building the foundation for the larger goals you're working towards. Each time you get back up after a setback, each time you choose to persist despite the obstacles, you are laying the bricks upon which your dreams will stand. The growth, the perseverance, and the lessons learned during the journey are just as important, if not more, than reaching the final goal. But why is it that the journey often feels so hard? Why do we feel like we're walking uphill, pushing against an invisible weight that makes each step feel more difficult than the last? The truth is, success is not a straight path. There will be days when you question your worth, your direction, and even your ability to keep going. Lewis recognized this struggle when he said, "Faith is the art of holding on to things in spite of your changing moods and circumstances." It's easy to be faithful and motivated when everything is going well, but what about those days when the road ahead is unclear? When it feels like you're moving backward instead of forward? In those moments, the most important thing you can do is surround yourself with people who believe in you. We are not meant to walk this journey alone. Who are the voices in your life that remind you of your worth when you've forgotten it? If you feel like you're walking alone, it's time to seek out those who share your vision and values, those who can lift you up when you're too weary to keep going on your own. Mentors, friends, a faith community, these are the people who will keep you grounded in your purpose and encourage you to press on, even when the way ahead feels uncertain. But above all, learn to trust the process. Trust that God is guiding your steps, even when you can't see the full picture. The road to your goals may be filled with twists, turns, and unexpected detours, but each of those challenges is part of the greater plan. Lewis also reminds us that failures are finger posts on the road to achievement. Those moments of failure or delay are not signs of defeat, they are moments of preparation. Each setback is shaping you, teaching you, and preparing you for the success that is still to come. So, where are you today? Take a moment to reflect on the challenges you've already overcome. Think about the person you were when you started this journey and who you are now. What have you learned? How have you grown? This growth is evidence that you are capable of so much more than you give yourself credit for. You've already proven that you can handle adversity, that you can rise after each fall. The question is not whether you can reach your goals, but whether you will continue to believe in yourself long enough to see them through. As you move forward, keep your eyes on your goals, but don't forget to appreciate the journey. Celebrate your progress, no matter how small it may seem. Embrace the lessons that come with the hard times, for they are shaping you into the person you need to be to achieve what you desire. The path you're walking is one of your own making, guided by your dreams, fueled by your determination, and blessed by the growth that comes with every step you take. When you reach the end of this journey, you will have not only achieved your goals, but you will have become someone you can be proud of. Someone who has faced adversity, embraced the challenges, and stayed true to your values. This is the true reward, not the external success, but the internal transformation. So, here's the challenge I leave you with: set your goals high and don't hold back. Dream boldly, take action, and stay the course, even when the path gets tough. Trust in the process, trust in God's timing, and believe in your ability to persevere. Because when you refuse to give up, when you commit to the journey, there's no limit to what you can achieve. You'll create a life rich with purpose, meaning, and fulfillment. And in doing so, you will inspire others, showing them that they too can reach heights they never thought possible. Keep moving forward, one step at a time. The world is waiting for you to step into your greatness.